Hi guys, welcome to part 2 of episode 10 of SG Sports Uncut. We are speaking to the Singapore Slingers, Singapore's only professional basketball outfit. With us in the studio is point guard Marcus Elliott. He's joined by another guard in Leon Kwek, and wrapping up the panel is Delvin Goh, who plays as forward for the Slingers. Delvin, welcome back to the show. We last had you on in November during our SEA Games preview shows. You were prepping with our Singapore national team. So now, the ABL season is underway. 8 games into the campaign, the Slingers are in 7th position out of 10 teams. How would you sum up the campaign so far?
I mean, for now, say that we're in the 7th position. It's going to be a long season, so you might not know what happens to the next half of the season. We just want to climb the ladder as much as we can and try to win more games.
Yeah, but to be fair, the other teams have played at least 4 or 5 games more than you guys. Mm-hmm. So anything can change when you reach up to 12, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Back in December, Delvin, when the season got underway, did you foresee or expect to have only won 3 out of 8 games?
Nah, I mean, we came in with confidence. We're trying to win as much as we can, but like we said, we didn't have, as a team, we didn't have much training due to the SEA Games and all that. But that's not an excuse. But I don't say that we foresee or expect anything, at that of 3 out of 8 games. But we're just gonna see how it goes. It's a long season, so we're just gonna win as much as we can.
Okay. Point guard Marcus Elliott. It's your first season with the Singapore Slingers. How would you sum up the team's performance so far?
Right now, I think we're doing a lot of gritty stuff. Every game, we're winning at some point deep in the fourth quarter. We've always got a lead at some point in the fourth quarter. We just got to figure out how to get over the hump. But I would just say that we're playing gritty basketball right now.
Yeah, that's what Biggie said as well. We got to try and get over that hump. Having played for Hong Kong Eastern for the last 3 seasons, averaging 23 points per game, what do you reckon is the main difference between your former club and the Singapore outfit?
I would say the offensive schemes, the pace of the game, and just the whole strategy behind everything. I mean, it's a totally different club, so you can't compare the two. But I would say everything is different.
Okay. Leon Kwek, who also plays as a guard. Let's hear from you. And the close defeat to the Thai club over the weekend. You featured for almost 25 minutes in the game. You scored 4 points, but the Slingers in the end lost by only 2 points in front of the home crowd. What happened, man?
I think always when you lose in front of the home crowd, it's tough, especially when you had that 8-point lead with like 5 minutes to go. I think for us, down the stretch, it was actually all boils down to mental toughness, and then whether we all we got to focus on. And I think that was pretty much for me myself when the game was tight, and then I was locked and trail on the pick and roll, and then I got out late on Freddie,
right,
and he hit the 3. That got to hurt. So once again, I take the responsibility on myself, and that's what actually happened and caused the game.
Okay, well, the game against Mono Vampire was on the back of 2 straight wins. Why do you reckon your team just couldn't continue the winning momentum, especially after 3 straight losses 2 weeks ago?
I think at the end of the day, we showed that we could beat them.
Yeah.
35 minutes off the game, and then I think we kind of really got tired, and then we let that kick in, and then we just wasn't mentally tough enough. But I think we had our chances. Just 5 minutes ago, I still remember all of us telling just 5 minutes, hang in there, and then we'll be fine. But that's just basketball. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. So we just gotta adjust.
Yeah, and they are the league's number 1 team at the moment.
Yep.
So losing by 2 points, I mean, it's it could have gone either way, like you said. Delvin, earlier I spoke to Coach Neo and 2 of your club mates regarding the first 4 games of the season. Let's move on to Game 5 and the clash against the Saigon Heat. So with 2 back-to-back losses, how did Coach Neo prep your team for the home game against the Vietnamese club?
I would say it's almost the same every time, prepare for a game. Watch films, try and see their weaknesses, their strength, and try to take away their strength, and then try to attack their weaknesses. So we pretty much just, watch the film, go down to the court, and do our defensive things, and then coach will tell us what we should do, what are the defensive stance and all that. So yes, that's pretty much the same for all the games.
Okay. In your first 3 losses, the main issue affecting the team was the drop in the performance in the fourth quarter. That's when your opponents were able to come from behind, or they just further extended their lead and went on to win. Was that a similar case against the Saigon Heat as well in Game 5?
I'll say, like you say, every game is the same because we let down in the fourth quarter, and like what Leon said, mental toughness. It comes down to mental toughness, whether we are able to hold on to the lead or not at the end of the last few minutes. And I think it cost us the game because our mental toughness was not there, and then we didn't focus on the things that we have done for the first 3 quarters and all that. So it's all on us, but you win or lose. So win as a team, we lose as a team. So yeah.
Right. Still talking about that game, Marcus, you had a top-notch game with 20 points, 16 rebounds, but the Slingers came up short, lost 79-73. Were you surprised to see your fellow star teammate Xavier Alexander confined to only 9 points in that particular game?
I was, but I wasn't even aware of it until after the game. Because during the game, you're just so locked in and, battling, fighting against the other team. Whatever you got to focus on your job and what you got to do out there. So I really didn't notice. And then when I did see it, it's not a video game. He's not a video game where you can just go out there and press the shoot button and turbo and power and he's human. So you're gonna, as every player goes through slumps or has those type of games, like it was just unfortunate that it happened that night. But I didn't even notice, to be honest.
Okay, so 3 straight losses at that point. What was the mood like in the team, especially since I think the Slingers had dropped to the bottom of the table standings after 3 straight losses?
I mean, our mood has been pretty consistent. Like I said earlier, we've been winning every game at some point in the fourth quarter. So our mood is not going to be, drop our head or feel down on ourselves. We just got to keep on working. So it was just one of those things where it's like, we gave that game away. Just gave it away. So yeah.
Okay. Leon, let's move on to Game 6, the rematch against San Miguel, but this time at the OCBC Arena. You featured for 25 minutes in that clash. What do you remember most about that encounter besides the 7 points you scored?
I think it's our defense. They was actually sitting on the second seat of the standings.
Yeah.
And then we came out and kept them to 64 points. And it was our bread and butter. Defense was always what the Slingers back ourselves on. And then to come out and hold the team to 64 points, I think it just shows that how much we wanted it. And then we just put them away.
Okay, we just touched on him. What can you say about Xavier's performance when he went from 9 games in the previous game to a whopping tally of 31 points?
And last year's War Import MVP, so he's not going to come out 9 points 2 games in a row. So definitely he's our leader. He's here for 6 years now. He put us on his back for the last 6 years, so we know he's going to come out. He's going to make up for what happened, and then he really did that.
Okay. Delvin, so after 6 games, the Slingers had yet to win their first away game as they faced the Macau Black Bears in Game 7. Do you remember what the plan was going into that clash?
Like I said earlier, I think our plan is always the same. We really study the opponent's weaknesses and strengths, and then we just try to counter it, and that's what we did. So we came out with a win.
Okay. And in the end, it was down to a 1-point game. You played 33 minutes in the game, 4 points, 8 rebounds. What was your summary of the game at the Venetian in Macau?
Remember at one point where we're down by about 19 or 20, and then Marcus came to us, harder up, and he said it's our ball game. We're just gonna take 3 stops at a time, 1 stop at a time, and then just keep going, just hold them as much as we can, and then we try to score. So that's what we did, and then till the last few seconds, and he still harder us up and still say the same thing. He said, we're right here. So this is exactly how we do it. We play defense, play solid defense throughout the third and fourth quarter, and then we hold them to scoring only nothing, 0 points in the last 3 minutes 46 seconds, and then we got a 1-point game.
Okay. Marcus, both yourself and Xavier scored 26 points each. This time round in the fourth quarter, especially, your team was able to hold defensively as you scored 25 points and conceded only 8 in the fourth quarter. How did the strategy work for you in the fourth quarter this time round?
I think we made an adjustment defensively. The scheme coming into the game, we tried to work it as best we could, and then we just had to make an adjustment in the fourth quarter. We did that as a team on the floor. And like Delvin just said, I just gathered the guys together and was like, hey man, they're not going to keep making everything. So just keep playing hard, keep challenging shots. And then that's what it was. We just, spoke positive words over what we had going on. Nothing was negative. Everybody stayed positive, like kept fighting. And shoot, it ended up working for us.
The power of positivity with the 96-95 victory.
Facts.
It was your first road win of the season. Did you feel a burden lifted off your shoulders as you managed to get that losing streak out of your system?
For sure. I mean, a win, I don't, some people might, it wasn't a good win, wasn't a whatever. A win is a win. And as long as you're winning, that's positive right there. So all the players, we were pretty much positive. We were psyched about it. And then, it gave us some confidence coming into this game, this last game, playing against a good club. But, definitely a burden lifted.
Leon Kwek, you had a good outing against the Black Bears as you dropped 15 points. You were 3 for 5 from the 3-point range. You had close to 30 minutes of court time. Satisfied with your own performance?
If you actually watch the film, the first half I was playing really soft. I wasn't being aggressive to the basket, shooting my hoops. And then coming out of halftime, actually X and Marcus both told me to be aggressive. And when we came out the third quarter, I managed to get 11 points in the third quarter. So that was just me trying to be aggressive and things that I can really do. And I just need to trust myself.
Okay. So looking back at the season so far, I personally think the Slingers could have fared better if it weren't for maybe 2 reasons. The first is the doubleheader when you have to play 2 games in 24 hours in Taiwan against the Fubon Braves and the Formosa Dragons. Both games ended in defeat for the Slingers with margins of 6 to 11 points. Unlike the other teams, why were you guys made to play twice in 24 hours?
I guess like what that was there at the start of the show. The SEA Games actually pushed us 1 month back. Right. Where the season actually starts in November. So for us, we knew that coming to this season we gotta play a little bit of catch up. This is gonna be a common thing, especially when we go into March, where instead of having 8 games in 1 month, we're gonna have 10. So it's a lot of back to backs. But I think for us, that's never a problem. Whenever we there's a game, we always come up and ready to play. So it's just both games we actually both had the lead too. And then we blew the lead.
And both were away games.
So I don't think it's a matter of fatigue. It's just a matter of us closing the game out.
Okay. Delvin, after those 2 games in Taiwan, then came an 8-day stretch of 3 games with 2 at the OCBC Arena, 1 away in Macau, resulted in 2 wins and the loss at home. The second win was just by 1 point, and the loss was also just by 1 point. So were your players already suffering from fatigue of travelling and a packed competition schedule?
I would say, we must be experienced enough, to know that, there are times like this and we gotta be prepared for it. And I think we came out playing, like you said, we win 1 point and then we lose 1 point. So it's definitely not down to fatigue. It's about how we are able to focus for the whole of 40 minutes. And it's just what it is. We lost by 1, we win by 1, you win or lose. So we're just gonna, toughen up, and then see how we go from there, and try to see, watch the film again, and try to see, what are the things that we gotta improve on. That's it.
Okay. Right then, the team is now on a 10-day break for the Lunar New Year celebrations. Is it a complete holiday for the Slingers, or do you still have training in the build-up to your next game on the 29th of January at the OCBC Arena against the Saigon Heat? Delvin.
For us, it's never a holiday. If there's a 10 game, it's a good thing for us to, to have sort of like a rest, but we still got to do our own stuff, we're still having trainings, and we're just going to be prepared as you have these 10 days, to work together as a team. And then it's never going to take a step back. We're always going to push forward, even though it's Lunar New Year. We're just going to keep pushing.
Okay. Marcus, 2 weeks ago, the Saigon Heat at the OCBC Arena managed to beat you by just 6 points. Their imports like Christian Charles and Sam Thompson combined for almost 50 points in that game. What do you reckon would be your strategy come January 29th?
I would just think it would be just the defensive rotation, to help on rotation. That'll be like the main focus, and just keeping the energy and keeping the dog in you for 40 minutes. From buzzer to buzzer. That's one of those. That's another game where there wasn't one time in that game where we felt like we were going to lose at all, and it just came up short at the end.
Okay, let's now touch on some of the other names in the Slingers roster, starting first with Levin Raj. What does this 19-year-old center bring to the setup, Marcus?
Man,
besides being a fan favorite in the Philippines.
Facts, man, he's good. I think the first thing is people look at his size and look at his body build, but they don't realize how quick he actually is, how strong he is, and the touch and skill that he actually has when the basketball's in his hand. He kind of reminds me of big baby Glenn Davis from LSU. He's got like that type of swag, especially when he used to play for the Celtics. And he's young, so like you say, he's only 19. I think he's got a lot of potential. I like him, man. You know, if he starts taking things serious, man, he's gonna be good, yo.
Yeah.
Like I really think he's got a lot of potential.
I don't think there's been a game so far where you've seen him and McClain on court at the same time, right?
Right.
Has there been one? No, right?
So.
I'd like to see it though.
Okay. Leon, what can you say about number 13, Lim Juan Yun, who features as a guard?
Man, that guy gets under everyone's skin.
Okay.
He's just so pesky. Every time you see him on court, he's just gonna give all out defensively. He's gonna irritate the shit out of you.
Okay.
And make sure that once you step off the court at the end of the game, you remember this name, because you're gonna hate him to the end of the life. Wow. But I think even starting with the preseason, he was someone that never backs down. Start of preseason, he actually got into it with Marcus a couple of times.
Oh, right.
He's right in his face, never back down. But I think that's just what he brings to the table. His never say die attitude and his fearless, pesky defense.
Okay. Do you agree? He's got this peskiness about him?
Yeah, he's got a lot of grit. You know what I mean? He's got a heart, so that's what he does. He brings that to the table every day. And, you know, that's one of those things where, you know, some people don't have that, but he has it.
Okay.
Marcus is going to say that he always fouls him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's a big hack. Team ball hack.
Delvin, what about player number 6, Tae Ding Loon, who also plays as a guard?
He's my shooting partner. So
He's what part?
He's my shooting partner.
Oh, okay.
So we always pair up and shoot in the morning and then after practice. So he's someone that if you leave him open and you let him take that open three, he's gonna make you pay. And then that was what he did in Macau. He had one opportunity and then he seized the opportunity.
Yeah, that was in the fourth quarter, right? Very deep.
Second quarter.
Okay.
So I think for him, his role is really being a knockdown shooter, 3-and-D guy. So he's just gotta continue to grow into a bigger role as time goes by.
Okay. Delvin, what about number 22, Kelvin Lim? Plays as a guard as well. How has he contributed to the team's formation?
I mean, for him, it's tough because he used to playing 4 and 5, like a power forward center. For him to take the transition into a guard is pretty tough. But I think for him, his athleticism and then his effort, his energy, the energy that he brought to the team is always good. Like he always sees the opportunity. He cuts a lot. He gets the rebound for us, and he runs. So that's the thing that he has contributed so far to the team.
Okay. We also have Ng Shi Yu in the forward position. Your position. How has he performed this campaign?
I would say he's still young. He's the same age as Lavin, and
19. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's 19, 20. So he's still trying to learn. Like for a young guy, he's still trying to learn. Still trying to see things. Still trying to get as much experience as possible. For now, he hasn't been playing much, but in training, he tried to give his best. Trying to go against the bigger guys, the older guys, which is really good. And then his hard work, his effort, and all that, you can't beat that. So I wish that with all the effort and hard work, he will become one of the top players sooner or later. So.
Okay. Marcus, with your wealth of experience playing around the world, and now when you work with players that are either on a full-time contract or studying, part-time, what do you hope the younger players can learn from you and your work ethics both on and off the court?
You gotta continue to put in work every day. You can be up and be in a great rhythm, great momentum, but you're still gonna have to put in work. I take a lot from watching older players and watching a lot of interviews. I also study myself a lot. So after After we played last night, I went back and immediately watched the film of the game and rewatched everything. I would say, study the game, get your IQ up, but you can't out politic and you can't out talk work. So my thing is just getting in the weight room, staying ready, staying physically ready, and stay putting in the work.
Are you your own critic?
Yeah, for sure. I go hard on myself. I know how I can play. I know I can play, in what levels I can play at. So, I've been I've been around the world. This is like my 8th different country I've played in. So, the game is still the same. The rims are still 10 feet and the ball still goes in the basket. So, you just gotta lock in, believe in yourself.
And your teammates.
For sure.
Do you reckon there is a future for Singaporeans to turn fully professional basketball players in the near future? Or if so, what do they need to do?
Man, they just gotta, if it's your passion and you're truly passionate about it and that's what you want, nobody can tell you what you can't have. So I think that is possible for anybody if they really want it. It just depends on how hard you're working. There's always somebody out there in the gym putting in the work effort. I walked in the facility today and I see Ding on the treadmill. He's in there getting it in, trying to be better. So it's just little stuff like that. How bad do you want it for yourself?
Okay. Leon, you first joined the Slingers at the age of 19 back in 2015. This is now your 4th season with the team. How would you describe your time with the Slingers?
It's been a good opportunity to grow up. When I came in at 19, I was really young. Never been to a professional setup, and then come in here straight to the fire with the older guys. I have my fair share wrestling the vets, guys like Tinker, Shane, and then Delvin too.
Yeah.
When I started off playing the 4, so I think it's a good opportunity for me to see and test yourself to the best in the South Asia region now, even in the Asia region. So you just gotta keep moving forward. Every game, something that you do bad, you just gotta keep working on it. Like what Marcus said, work on the craft and keep getting better. And then the sky's the limit.
Okay. Is this for you a dream come true? And beyond your basketball playing career, what is next for you?
I think for sure. This is the highest level that any local can play. So it's definitely a dream come true. But for me, I think more than basketball is that we at all times we always remember about the roots that we came from, the community where it all started for me at the streets basketball court. So I think for me, whenever I go to a street basketball court and I see young guys that are trying to get better, sometimes I just talk to them a little bit and then motivate them and say that hey, it's possible. Don't let what people say rejects you. Just like how I did for me. When growing up, I tell people that I want to be a national athlete. I want to be a Slingers. They just laugh at me because I was so small back then. I was really short, 153.
Wow.
But then
What are you today?
188.
Oh, okay.
Growth spurt hit me well, but I think never say never because like what he said, like what Marcus said, work ethics is actually what's gonna get you over the hump.
Right, nice. Delvin, we know that you're aiming for that dream to play abroad in probably one of the top 5 leagues in the world. But I guess before you achieve that, you do want to see the Slingers win their first ever ABL title before leaving the team. I think that's one of your.
Well, definitely. Slingers is the one that got me started in this professional career, and of course I want to win one for the Slingers. But of course, if there's opportunity out there, I'm sure Slingers will want me, will wish me the best, to go overseas to play. So, I would definitely want Slingers to win one before I go.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah.
Okay. A quick word on your former teammate, Ng Han Bin, who's now in the role as an assistant coach. After 9 years with the team, when he started with the Slingers in 2010, he decided to call time on his playing career. How is Han Bin in the coaching department so far, Delvin?
It's still the same. It feels like he's still a player right now. He's still trying to give advices to the younger guys. Still helping out, during our individuals, during our training. He's still standing on the side. Sometimes he joined the training too. So as much as he wants to stand on the side, I feel like he still has the fire in him. He still wants to come back. So we'll see whether he wants to come back or not. But so far, he's just giving advices to the young guys, and which is really good at the side of the court. But we just see.
Okay. Marcus, with 16 games remaining in the regular season. 16 or 18 games remaining in the regular 16. You played 8 games, so that's 26. 18 games.
Yep.
Yeah, with 18 games remaining in the regular season, what do you reckon will be the Slingers' objective for the rest of the campaign?
Should win. I mean, that's the objective night in and night out, is to win. Nobody's coming in here to lose. Nobody's coming in here to come in second. So it's win. Take it one game at a time and stack the dubs as much as we can.
Okay. Leon Kwek, we'll let you have the last word as a message to the fans watching the show. What would you like them to know about the Slingers this season, the 10th season of the ASEAN Basketball League?
Before the season closed, remember that this is Desmond's 10th season. It might be his final one. So get as many autographs as you can. That might be the last time you see him.
Yeah. He didn't say that just now when he was on the show.
I think he's shy. He doesn't want to let the fans down yet. So, but I think for us, just stick with us, because although we're now in a losing record of 3 or 5, but I think we showed that we can compete with any team in the league, and we just gotta find our little mojo in there, and then when things get going, that's how we show our appreciation to the fans.
Okay. Hashtag we are all Slingers. Marcus Elliott, Leon Kwek, Delvin Goh, thank you very much for coming on board SG Sports Uncut.
Thank
We wish you the very best in your quest to try and win for the first time the ABL title, since the season began more than 10 years ago. All the best for the rest of the campaign. Thanks very much, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I hope you enjoyed that discussion with our Singapore Slingers. Fingers crossed they can go all the way to the ABL finals and win it this time round from March onwards. Now, for more information on the Slingers, do check out their Facebook page and the official website. Now, if you have any feedback on this show, feel free to drop us an email at sgsportsuncut@gmail.com. Meanwhile, I'd like to take this opportunity to wish everyone a very happy and prosperous Lunar New Year. Till the next time, I'm Raj Kumar. Bye for now.